Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Mark, and I'm with MBL Entertainment Group. And our show basically focuses on people in general, whether they're celebrities or whether they're just like you and I. I'm a nobody. You guys obviously are more valuable than I am. And this is one of our special Friday night shows. Now, other shows that I do every Saturday morning, we do what's called Saturday night. Saturday night, I did that once before. Saturday morning cartoon. I'm laughing to myself because I think it's funny. Saturday morning cartoon, where we actually focus on cartoons from your past. Okay, cartoons that you may have grown up with, where we all grew up with. Saturday morning cartoons start at 9 a.m. every Saturday. Every other Friday, I do another show, which is called Classic Television Smackdown. Now, we focus on all of those shows before the year 2000. Okay, all of those classic sitcoms and dramas and things of that nature that we all grew up with that actually raised us as individuals. We have a very, very special guest with us today. Oh, okay. Do I sound okay? Tony says it sounds like I am underwater, and that's usually because the format here has to catch up. I'm using a format, by the way, that's called StreamYard. So let's hope that I am sounding a little bit okay as I go along. Someone is saying I can't hear really. Okay, it sounds like that for me too. I'm breaking up a lot. All right. I'm assuming, ladies and gentlemen, who is popping in, thank you guys for popping in. That is probably the format. Okay, I'm going to drop back up. And hopefully, you guys, if I get the sound better, just let me know. If I'm sounding, yes, for me, it's lagging. Sound choppy and underwater. Sound is horrible. I do not understand why, but I have one of my leaders here, one of my tech guys, who is probably trying to track down the problems. So let's see what we can do before we continue with the show. My apologies, this doesn't happen, but it's obviously happening today. So we will move along shortly as soon as we can. Garrett, I see you downstairs in the lobby. If I get to start sound any better, Garrett, give me a thumbs up. Just let me know. So I see you there working on the problem as well. All right. In the meantime, what I'll do is probably talk slow, and hopefully you guys can catch up with me. Dolores, hello. JR Goddess, hello. Hello, View 87, hello. Welcome once again. We have a very, very special guest this evening, and I'm really excited to present her to you, mainly because she's a relative. And we always want to build our relatives up. Not only do we want to build our relatives up, but we really want to build young people up as well. Unfortunately, I met this gorgeous young lady at my mother's funeral. And we just happened to be at the repast, and we were talking a bit. I was introduced to her because I never met her. Your audio. Gotcha. All right, folks, I'm going to turn off my green screen as I'm being asked to do. That may be causing problems. So let's do that. Now I'm green. Testing 1, 2, 3, Garrett. Garrett, testing 1, 2, 3. Did that help? Did that help? Yes, I got thumbs up from Garrett, but I got blue screen behind me. All good. All right. Okay. Thank you, guys. Green screen, I won't do anymore. My bad. My apologies. That's what I get for going to Egypt and coming back. All right. We have a room full of comments. Let's see. Yay. 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 Hey, cousin Toby. Dolores, another cousin. I got cousins here, and they know why. I know why they're here. All right. So let's get on with the show now. It looks like I got my audio fixed. Okay, looks like that was the problem, was my stupid green screen. All right, everyone know this young lady here, or some of you know this young lady, and a lot of you are going to meet her for the very first time. This is the cousin that I met at my mother's repast a couple weeks ago, And I was delighted to see that I'm meeting more people. And it's unfortunately, it always has to be a funeral when you meet people you've never met before in your life or you hadn't seen in 30 years. Okay. Well, this was actually advantageous to me at that time because this young lady displayed some art that I've never seen or heard of before. What I want to do now during this show, I'm going to show you her artwork, and I have a panel of judges, friends of mine. I'm not even going to call them judges, but I have a panel of friends who are artists, and I'm going to show you some of their work. And they are going to introduce themselves first. Graven and Monica, how you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Good.
Guys, these are incredible artists, friends of mine, and I'm going to show you some of their work right now. And just in fact, qualified to look at May's work, okay, and give their opinion. Now, everything is fantastic other than the cats. Monica knows I hate cats. I think cats are evil.
But
Okay?
they love you.
Yeah, but you know, God made cats. The devil made, no, I'm sorry, God made dogs. The devil made cats. Okay, so, but this is Monica's artwork, and here's some more of her stuff here. As you can see, she's very talented. She is basically in the pro class. She does have go to art shows and vendor events and things of that nature. Even Graven stuff here. He's a huge Transformer fan, as you can see some of his work up here on the screen. But that's absolutely fantastic. So, Graven, Monica, I asked you guys personally if you would come on and take a look at my cousin's artwork. How do you feel about me indulging you in that way, ruining your Friday night, just to please me, which you're not getting paid any money whatsoever? So why are you here?
Because we care.
Because
we care about you, man. We care about your family.
We're all family.
Yeah.
Yes. That's fantastic. Okay, hold on. I'm going to drop you guys, and I see Paul. What's up, buddy boy?
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me all right?
Say, oh, you're looking good, man. Looking fine as always. This is my friend Paul, ladies and gentlemen, and Paul does incredible art as well. He likes foliage a lot. Okay, he likes to draw plants, but he's also good in other stuff, such as this, which a piece that I happen to like. But of course, you know what my favorite piece is, Paul, which is this one right here. Mm-hmm. Okay, he has provided art. He's fantastic with owls. Okay, this is every piece of artwork that I'm showing you guys for this evening is just a drop in the bucket of what these folks are capable of doing. But I just wanted to show Paul's art. Paul, how do you feel about me taking advantage of you for Friday night to just basically give your opinions on my cousin's work?
Well, I can tell you I've been terribly lonely. Terribly lonely. So lonely. No, it's been kind of, I've been kind of quarantined up and stuff. So yeah, I'm ready to ride. I got my new duds. You like them? My nice purple shirt. My new
man, I love that vest. I like that. I like that.
I'm trying to dress up so next time I go out to the shows, I'm trying to look a little slicker.
Well, we will be, and folks that are watching us here, we do conventions. We go to conventions. We attend conventions. Paul, Graven, Monica, Tony, I don't see your camera on. I know you can hear me, but I don't see your camera on, so I can't see your face if I'm going to bring you up. These are incredible artists, and I usually host these shows. I used to do 3 shows a year in Germany for about 20 years, but I've hosted shows here in Orlando, Florida, where I live, MegaCon, and I'm one of the pro moderators for DragonCon in Atlanta. We are all, this is how I got to meet these people. Oh, okay. Tony says no cam tonight. All right. Must be a makeup thing. Put some mascara on, woman. We get around, we've been around celebrities. We've been around fellow artists, people from around the world. And I think, they are better judges of May's work. I just fell out, and you're going to see it. I'm stalling, so you guys just hang on for a bit. We do so much in the convention industry that when I saw my cousin's art, I'm like, okay, Paul and Graven and Monica and Tony is listening right now. This girl is going to show up at shows, guys. This girl is going to show up at shows. So Junior Goddess says she's loved cats. Well, no one's perfect. Okay, and I get it, and you must be on medication too, so that's okay. All right, so Tony, I'm gonna drop you for a minute, Paul. Bring Tony up, but obviously maybe just Tony, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, darling. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you helping me out on this.
Sure.
Tony is an incredible artist. She's our that'll be our fourth judge for this evening. I'm going to show you some of Tony's art because she does incredible work as well. So this is Tony Taylor's work. As you can see, she is very talented as well.
Thank you kindly.
No, you know how much I adore your work and adore you, sweetheart. So I'm just glad that you popped in this evening. I really appreciate that a lot. But as you can see, some of Tony, and understand, folks, you're watching this on a very small monitor through the internet. So these photos that you're seeing now do no justice to what they look like in real life. Okay, this is Tony's work, and like I said before, you're seeing nothing. You're not seeing anything that you could see up close, because that's when you end up being gobsmacked. When you see it from 6 inches away, it's just absolutely amazing what she does. So these are our artists for the evening. We got Graven, we have Monica, we have Paul, and we have Tony. Stand by, Tony. I'm going to draw. Tony, I'm sorry. Let me ask you this question. How did you feel about my request that you come on and give our young cousin here a little bit of a pep talk?
Well, I feel it's a sign of your respect for what I do, and that's quite a compliment to me. So I'm appreciative of that. And you know, it's always good to give back a little bit to someone else who's coming up, because I had a lot of that as I was being molded, and it made a big difference. So if I can say a word, you know, of that would give the young lady some confidence or anything, you know, an applause, I'm happy to do it.
Really appreciate that. At some point, we all will be on the screen at the same time. But without any further ado, I'd like to read something. She wrote this herself, so I will say it exactly the way she wrote it. I'm Mayorie Jones TOUBEAUX, and I'm a 15-year-old high school freshman from the Metro Detroit area. I consider myself a self-taught artist and got my start by making art with my mom. My favorite art styles are anime and photorealism. I enjoy incorporating bright colors into my artwork and get most of my inspiration from viewing the work of other artists. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I want you to cousin.
Hi.
Hey, how are you, sweetheart?
I'm doing really good. I'm really excited.
You're excited?
Yeah.
Did you what did you think about the art that you've seen so far from the people who are going to be giving you a few tips?
It's just amazing. Like they're all so talented, and I'm glad they're giving me some advice for my artwork so I can improve. Hopefully. I'm really excited.
Well, what I've seen, I'm not, you know, that much of an expert or a teacher, but I don't know how, you know, you can basically improve on what you've already done. Who is this, May?
That's my friend.
Yeah, obviously she consider
that's
you
my
her
best
bestie.
friend.
Yes, okay, yeah. Well,
that's my bestie.
Her name is not Froggy, is it?
No.
Okay, all right. She just okay. Hello, bestie. Thank you for joining your bestie on the air here. All righty. So this is where we go. Yes, my 15. You're getting comments in my private chat here of how pretty you are. But of course, since you have some of my genes in you, it's of course, you know, I mean, this is how the Lees and people of the Barksdale families, you know, grandmothers and grandfathers and uncles and yada, yada, yada. This is how we look. Okay. So Everyone's saying hello to you, as you can see. I'll put this up. Now, I know you guys are dying to see her art, and I'm just trying to give you guys enough pre-show as possible so you know a little bit about this young lady, which I'm about to ask some questions for before we go ahead and bring all of our artists up. May, how did you come about doing art? Do you remember the age you started, doing doodles or little scribbles in your on the wall with a crayon? Do you remember any of those days at all?
I do, of course. I
Tell me.
used to draw all the time. As long as I can remember, I would draw on the walls. I would like my mom told me even when she bought me like paper to draw on, I still drew on the wall. I still draw on the walls. I just love drawing from when I was really young.
Okay, you were drawing on walls without any punishment, is basically what you're saying, right?
No, I got yelled at a lot.
Did you really? Did they make
Yeah.
you clean it? Did you make you clean it off?
No.
Okay, so somewhere there's a house with white walls and your art on it that is going to stay until the end of time, right? Right, young lady?
Probably
Okay. Uh-oh.
my beautiful art just on the
Yeah.
walls.
Well, I'm really happy that what is your favorite? What we're showing our guests tonight, and especially our advisory board, I call them that, is based on anime. Is anime the only thing that you draw? Is anime the only thing that you're interested in? Have you done anything else other than anime?
I mostly like to draw my characters in anime, but I do like to kind of play around with my styles a lot. And sometimes I do like to do realism just as a practice because I feel like if I like to look at references a lot for some of my work. And once I do like all of that practice and then I go back, I just make something a lot better. So anime and realism is my main go-to to art.
I know what you're talking about in terms of realism. I tried to draw Godzilla once, and I had, a copy of a picture of Godzilla. I tried to draw that, and it ended up looking like Dino from the Flintstones. Okay, so I get realism. You need a guy. You need something that interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and bring our panel up. We got Tony voice-wise. We have Paul coming up here. And Garrett, I'm going to pull you up. You ready to be pulled up, Garrett? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, Garrett's coming in. All right, and this is Garrett from HWUF TV. Hey, Garrett, guess what? I got commercials for this show.
Ooh, wow, all right.
Okay, our panel, we're going to go ahead now. I'm going to tell you guys what you didn't hear when we were prepping up for this show. And that is all of the art that May sent me, I thought was incredible. I'm like, oh, wow, talent. And she sent me that, I think, a week ago or however it was, okay? And I said, well, May, is that all the art you're gonna show us? It was a lot. It was about 10 pieces, but I said, is that all the art you're gonna see us, whatever? And obviously her mom got with her. And usually when you have the advice of someone who is raising you, it should be followed. Isn't that correct, May?
Yeah.
All right. Long story short, the next set of pieces that she sent me, which we're going to see at the end, which she sent me, knocked me out of my chair. And I had to slightly scold her as an older cousin would do to a younger cousin and try to figure out why in God's name were these not sent to me with the rest of the grouping. You had to wait until your mom, who moms are always right, May, you had to wait for her to tell you to send these to Mark, send these to Mark, send these to Mark, and you will be, ladies and gentlemen, seeing that those added pieces sent to me. What is Sage saying? Sage says she could have one wall in her room painted in chalkboard paint and then draw on it all the time. Don't influence the young, Sage. Bad Sage. Bad Sage. What? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go through this slightly fast in terms of the art that you're going to see that May has done. So we can return back to any piece you want to see. I may constantly rotate them throughout the show as people talk, but I'm going to go around the panel at some point, and based on a general viewing of everything that I'm about to show you right now. I like to hear your thoughts and opinions. And May, you do understand that if there is anything said to you or advised to you that doesn't meet your liking, understand that you have to take the bad with the good and vice versa. And that's usually what, and I'm not lecturing you like I'm your dad or anything. I'm sure you know that, but I just don't want you to be, sending any pipe bombs in the mail to any of my friends who gave you a bad review. Okay. This is the only thing I'm doing. I'm trying to prevent, I like my friends, May. So here is something that May did. Hey, May, by the way, that piece that you were drawing on your phone that I saw you do, is that in this grouping?
No. Like anything I do on my phone, I don't like. They're just doodles.
You don't like. Okay, I got it. All right, Mom, do your job. All right, here we go. So here's some more of May's artwork. Paul, Raven, Tony, Monica.
I like
as
it.
you can see, you guys can say anything you want as I go through them.
She should be doing shows already.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa. Start her slow, okay? Say the stuff is no. Say the stuff is crap first, okay? And then move on up, okay? Don't just come right out of the gate, all right? Jeez.
Well, that one before looked like it was a scene from an animated movie.
Yeah, it looks like, trust me, like you are doing fine.
Okay, Tony, which one you think you were talking about?
Well, it was, I guess, 2 before this one.
1, 2.
It was kind of dark.
Was it the red one?
That one, yes.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, May,
what is this? Totally professional, like it came, like it's.
It looks like a good anime shot.
Yeah.
It's a nice book cover.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Got
May,
room for the text on the sides there and stuff like that. I like the way the skirt's moving. I like the movement within the skirt because you're dealing with a still person who's still, and to give a little motion, a little life to it, it's nice to have the skirt billowing or the coat or whatever it is, like part of the outfit, but billowing up there. I'm sorry, I have to look back and forth on my computer to really get a good shot, but yeah, it looks great.
Thank you.
You've got a good style of having, if I may say, you got a good style of transitioning between different types of feel. Like this one right here feels more like something that would be good for like a concept design for a game. We've got that style aesthetic for any type of video game or any type of mobile app game. This has that simplicity to it, but yet still stylized well with color palette. Of course, the other one, like Tony was talking about, and Paul and Monica saying that was more structured. Looks like it would be good for some type of promotional item, for some type of anime or show coming out, but it has a different feel. It's a lot deeper, So far, I can honestly say we're liking what we're seeing here.
Yeah, I like how the yellows are glowing at me. The fire images there are actually popping off the screen at my face.
Can we go back to the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one. There it is. I guess the only thing that I would have a comment about on that one is the arm that is in both the arms look a little bit awkward. A little bit. They're not real flowy. They're sticking off too far out of off the edge of the body, especially the one in the dark. It looks too small or something. There's just some proportionality and some angles wrong. But other than that, though, the lighting's real nice and all that. So there's always stuff to work on. But yeah, I find the arms to be a little bit awkward. That's just my opinion.
So far, this one's my favorite, I think.
Yep.
We haven't gotten to the rest. We still have a ways to go, but so far I'm really digging this one right here.
Yeah, that's a real nice one.
Okay, I like that. May, can I ask what kind of, and me being the novice, and we do have some novice that are viewing this program. By the way, guys, you are watching the Artist Show here on the NBL Entertainment Network, hosted also by HWWS, and we are doing a artist review of May, and we're just going through her palette right now. May, how did you color these? What kind of, what's the word, Paul, Monica, Tony?
Medium?
Digital, traditional?
Digital.
Okay.
All of this work is digital.
Gotcha. Okay. Graven, that's what you do.
Yeah, I just started getting into digital. As you can see probably behind me, the transformer there, that's all digitally done. I began with traditional. That's where I really love to be in, pen and ink. black and white. I also do graphic designing too, so I'm used to being in that color palette of digital as well. I'm starting to learn. So that was kind of like my first attempt to start working with digital, because I work on a digital tablet instead of a Wacom. Monica does digital as well, but she does digital on a Wacom. So that's where you kind of have the little thing in front of you, and you're using your pen and you're connecting to what you're doing on the screen. So not quite sure what you're doing. I know you said you did some stuff on mobile as well, if that's
Cool
correct.
beans. May, you started out with pen and ink too, or
Yeah,
crayon?
I started out with traditional, but once I moved on, I instead of using like a drawing tablet for a long time, I actually drew with my mouse.
Really?
Yeah.
How did the cats feel about that? Sorry, moving on. Here we go.
Even better for the mouse. I'm serious.
Now, what are you using now, though, man?
I use a tablet now. It's much easier. Yeah.
Is it a type of graphics tablet that you can actually see what you're drawing on a little screen, or is it separate, just a old style tablet where you have to look at the computer monitor?
I have two. Right now on my desk is the one where I have to look at the screen, but I have another one where I can actually look down at my work.
Which one do you prefer?
I prefer definitely the one where it shows on the screen of the tablet 100%.
Okay. I have not got a chance to use one of those. I'm poor.
Yeah, it was really expensive.
They are expensive. I only have one because I was thankfully gifted one to work on and try that someone was passing on, so I was able to get my hands dirty a little bit. I feel you, Paul. Trust me, man. I want one of those big ones. Nice.
Oh, well, yeah, I've got an old style Wacom where you still, you look up at the screen and the whole.
That's what I use all the time.
But let's face it, I'm addicted to canvas.
For sure.
Okay, May, I have no idea what they're talking about. Anyway, moving on.
That makes many of us.
This is awesome. How many of these ideas of yours, May, are original in terms of you didn't copy them or see them elsewhere? How many of these did you actually just pull out of your head?
Like, I'd say 90% of them are like some things I pulled out of my head, and only one of them is where I like heavily referenced a background.
That's cute.
Now, are you shying away from backgrounds?
Yeah, I don't like backgrounds. They're not my thing.
That's a common thing that I've met with people who do anime and characters. They love to do that, and they're like totally just agog when it comes time to do a background. They don't know where to start. And I always find that amusing because it seems so much easier to me to do a background than to do the other. But, then if it's something that you don't do a lot and you're not as comfortable with, I suggest that's the thing you work on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, May, I'm going to make an anatomical criticism here. No one has a nose like that, May. Okay, no one in real life has a nose like that. That's a ski slope, May. You drew a ski
I can
slope.
assure you that I don't draw my noses like that anymore.
Oh, this is an early piece of artwork.
Yeah, that was about in October. I do not draw my noses like that anymore. I just like, the main reason I put this in here is because I like the shading mostly.
Color composition.
Blue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Your mother just made a comment reflecting back to what you guys were talking about in terms of equipment and medium and things like that.
She's gonna give us all a tablet. All right.
Right.
No. Personally, I think it's a subtle comment to get a freaking job. May. Just, I flipped burgers when I was young lady. You can do it too, okay? So if you want any new equipment, you need to start. Hey, Tony, you still there?
I'm here.
Okay, just making sure. We can't see you, so I wish I could see you, but this is incredible. I have no idea how you position a light in your mind to know where to put shadows and brightness. Advisory board, what do you got to say about this?
Looks good. Looks great.
I like lighting.
I like the lighting. I like exaggerated lighting. I really strong.
Now, did you pull this from a reference of someone else's work?
No. I was like, okay, I want to do something different. I want to actually do lighting, and I I had a thought in my mind where I wanted to do like really bold lighting, like a strong light source coming from somewhere, and I just did it with blue because blue is my favorite color.
Wow. Did you do anything after this or before this?
What do you mean?
Using the light reference.
Oh, no, I just kept it as it is.
Well,
Like,
So
what I like
your
about it is the fact that your value system, for someone your age, the value system is real good because you can still
Yes.
see plenty of detail in the dark areas, but the bright the bright area of light blue there really works as feeling like there's a strong glow coming from one side without really kind of blowing it all out. And it would kind of like it seems like maybe like an electric kind of shock or a flash of some kind, because it's real super bright and distinct and sharp rather than like a diffused or a soft light. So yeah, if you wanted to you said you wanted to make something stand out and have some shocking light, well, you got it there. And that's really that's lighting is everything to me. So I appreciate this one.
Well, and also if I make a point here, we are now in the second set of her work that she sent me and wasn't going to send me. Okay. So everything from this point on is going to be stuff that her mom literally picked out and said, you got to send Mark this stuff. Okay. So
Good eye,
I'm glad.
Mom.
Yes. Good job, Mom. Good job, Mom. Good job.
I have a question.
Thanks for the tablet. I can't wait.
oh, what's the question?
Hold on, Tony. Tony has a question for May. Go ahead, Tony.
I wanted to ask you, outside of the artistry, I'm curious if your characters have a story.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice
I don't like. For some characters it's kind of different. It's some I just like make out of my head and they're just there to sit there and look pretty. And for others, I literally make them and I'm so obsessed with them that I go like when I'm in the shower, I just daydream about their stories and make up these weird things. And then I go back and draw some snippets from what happens in their backstory,
Awesome.
I think that's great. And sometimes those fantasies that you may have could turn into something really big. That's where it starts, just with a thought, with a dream. And I can certainly say for my work, even though I don't write, I'm kind of a closet writer because I don't really have the patience to write it down. But when I'm creating a piece, I often have a storyline in mind, and that helps the character to become that much more real for me. There's a background, there's feeling, they have a history. So that's just something to consider moving forward as you're creating your work. You might even just want to make little notations because you never know. And remember those words, you never know what can happen in the future with something like that. You may create something now, and then 5 years from now, you say, you know what? I did something 5 years ago, and it's the basis for a storyline, for a graphic novel, for an animated film, for whatever. But don't belittle any ideas that you may have because it can turn into something really huge.
I agree. 100%.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Good
That's
job,
really
Tony.
inspiring. Thank you, genuinely.
It's my cousin, ladies and gentlemen. She's my cousin. But the images that you just saw, guys, the last 3 or 4 that showed up there, that was Tony's work. Tony, who was speaking to May, that is generally what she does. And to see her quality, which all 4 of these guys here, their level that they're on is, stratosphere. It's brought them great success, great recognition, notoriety. They've applied their artwork to stories. And that's one thing that I think Tony was alluding to, that, what you come up with could, in fact, someday either create a story that comes out of your own mind or somebody else's mind who's seen your artwork and say, whoa, I could use that, and so on and so on. So that's why I brought you here, baby. Okay, here's another one. Did we do this one? No, we didn't. Okay.
No, yes.
Are those cat ears?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
those are there's these weird buns that you do where you pull them up and you twist them to look like points.
Good, because I didn't want them to be cat ears.
Just a yes. Just to freak
just-
him out.
Just
just
the mess
put
with
that-
me said yes.
I'm putting that on the table, okay? You know, if you got
Once
any,
again, I see the use of the lighting with the sun coming through.
Yeah, your lighting
And
and
yeah, the lighting is real good on that. Pull it back up if you could, please. Let me take a look
it
at
is
it
up.
again.
It is
Well, yeah, I'm on a delay there. Let's
Okay.
see. Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing I might have done just because is I might have brought just a little bit of that glow of the hair on the other side of the neck at the bottom of the hair, maybe around the rim there, just to carry that, maybe even just a touch around the rim of the hair. See, I have that dark hair on the one side. You could put a little touch of glow on like the underside of it, just a little bit, just to carry that glow, and that would round it a little bit more, give it a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's got the depth already, but that would help round her and round her shoulders and all that with that. So yeah,
excellent,
Yeah,
great
I get what
advice,
you mean.
Paul.
Like the more I look at it, I'm like, oh, lighting could go a little bit right here and like the darker part because it's shining behind her and the sun, it still reaches.
It would almost be
radiate.
like an outline of the hair.
Yeah.
You see like little white hairs or
Strands of glow that would hit that strands of light hair, make it more ambient.
Awesome.
Quick question, Miss May, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
What's your drive on what you're trying to do as you move forward with all this art? What's your passion as far as looking to try to apply this? Are you looking to get into a certain type of job or school, or what's the motivation? Is it just to draw, or is it something to kind of go forward that you want to get into?
My motivation personally is I really like drawing for myself, and I like drawing for other people too.
Of course.
And honestly, as long as it makes other people happy, it makes me happy, and I like showing people my art and getting criticism from them, so I can take that with me and bring it somewhere else and in another piece of my art. And if I get a job in art, then that's really cool. I would really like to profit off of my art someday.
Well, meanwhile, if you're considering doing some little projects and want to feel like it's for something, some of my I don't really do that kind of stuff, so I'm not really great at the little character kind of things. But there's a thing called the Superhero Project. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Well, what they do is you join the Superhero Project as an artist, and you volunteer your artwork. And basically, what they do is they have kids that are either terminal or sick or fighting against either cancer or leukemia or some kind of medical malady that they're dealing with, and they have a certain superhero that they'd like to be, and then they will come up with the drawing of a superhero that's them, and they'll you draw them as a superhero, and then you send them the artwork, and it's just really fulfilling from what I understand from all the other guys. Of course, I'm a chump and I don't do it, but I have many friends that do it, and they're really good at it. And it really gives them a real great feeling about doing artwork. And they're joyous when they do it. They know and there's also, I guess, a little bittersweet quality to that kind of thing that makes it kind of emotional and puts a little bit more emotion into the piece and stuff. So it may be something you consider that's, you don't have to get paid for it, but it still gives you that same warm, fuzzy feeling inside rather than just sticking it in a shelf or a notebook somewhere,
Yeah.
Something you might consider.
That sounds really nice.
Superhero
I'll have to look into it later.
Can I ask I'm looking at like a Black Alice in Wonderland right here. Where did you get this idea from? Is this from something that we don't know, or?
No, just a design that I came up with. It was kind of self-indulgent. I just wanted to make cute outfit with an apron. That's about it.
Well, that is fantastic. We're getting down to your last few here.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that blood?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the story behind this one, young lady?
Okay, so basically, do you guys have you guys watched Hannibal?
Yes.
Yes.
I try not to on an empty stomach. No, supposed to be the other way around, right?
I'm a huge horror fan, so I've probably watched most things.
So
Most things that you
basically,
probably shouldn't.
so basically, I think maybe after a month I watched it, I was just like, okay, I feel like I want to make a cannibal OC because honestly, it's kind of like a really cool story idea for me about someone who looks really cute on the outside, but like behind closed doors, she's just like a rat.
What's in that cake? What's in that cake?
Looks like Russian wedding cake to me.
Okay, so why she mainly makes red velvet cakes is because she puts human body parts in her cakes.
She eats them.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens, okay, to people who are going to be pushing us around in our wheelchair somewhere down the road. When they get these thoughts in their mind, okay, I wouldn't let them touch me. I wouldn't let them come within 2 feet of me, all right, because she likes, let me tell you, back in the day in, where was I? It was probably either Security Square Mall in Baltimore when Halloween first came out, okay, the movie Halloween. And that's when stadium style seating was invented. It was just being put into play into theaters, okay? And I remember sitting at the top. I watched that entire movie between the cracks of my fingers, okay, like this, all right? So I am not a horror fan, okay, just so you know. So you might
I'm
want
a
to
huge
move.
horror fan, so huge.
Raven, are you a horror
I'm
fan,
also
dude?
a horror fan.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
horror fan. I was actually dealing with a horror festival for years where I watched films and submitted them, and we had them all show at a film festival. So yeah, we're definitely big horror fans.
Okay, I've known you for years, man. This is starting to add up now, and I get it. Okay, all right. So,
I have another question there, kind of following up with Graven's line. Are you more interested, May? Are you more interested in doing characters, drawing characters? I assume that's kind of what you're doing now. And if so, are you more interested in doing them for other people, drawing other people's ideas, or do you want to do your own ideas? Or do you want to do a mix of both? Does it matter to you?
Good question.
I like that.
I think I would prefer to do a mix of both because mostly if I get requests from other people like, hey, do you want to draw this? And I'm like, sure. And I really like drawing other things or other people's characters because I feel like drawing their characters gives me inspiration for what I should do for other characters I do.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, there you go. Nice.
It's my cousin, y'all. My cousin. Okay, anyway, so I need someone, or actually, May, I need you to explain this to me.
Okay, so basically,
Uh-oh.
they're twins. I don't know if you
Oh.
can tell, but they're twins. And they're in this world where monsters are trying to kill them, and one of them is really happy and carefree, and the other is really not, and just really sees the bad out of all things. And I yeah, that's just basically them. They fight against other monsters and stuff.
What is the significance between the red and the blue gems there, their heart, or what do we have there?
Yeah, those are their hearts.
Okay.
I feel like I wanted to make hers a little bit brighter and more glowing, and I wanted to make his more I don't know if you can tell, but his is more of a softer glow, maybe from an ambient glow from a fire. And I personally don't. I would change if I could go back and change the way I did the cracks on the heart. I would.
Yeah. It's good that you're coming up with these descriptions, much like Tony's talked to you and Graven and Paul. These guys know how to wrap a story around whatever assignment that they have, whether it's original or whether it's from something else, like a Transformer. I'm sure, Graven, at some point when you had to draw one of the Transformer characters, you had to basically come up with some storyline, the reason for why they're looking that way at the moment. Am I hitting a point there or anything?
Yeah, for sure. I think I could speak with everybody on the panel that do artwork. You know, whenever we're creating something, we also are creating some type of idea behind why we're doing it and what's motivating the character in the scene and in the story. Even from original characters to, you know, fan base like characters like what you see that I do here. Listening to you talk, sweetie. I hear a lot of myself growing up because I was very much into creating my own characters. That's why I'm working on my own stuff as well. You may see me drawing all this stuff, but deep down inside, I love creating my own characters and creating people's other characters as well. So hearing you so kind of hungry for what you're trying to do is amazing. It takes me back when I was your age and younger, sitting in my room with the music going and just focusing down on what I want to create, you know, and being mindful of that. The difference is that I didn't have a lot of that exposure or opportunity to grow knowledge from that stuff. So I was researching things from books and magazines and comic books and stories. And you're very lucky because you are in a time period where you can have access to all that stuff immediately, so you can grow faster from it. And you seem like you're very much doing that. And I think that's awesome. So it's easy to get discouraged, you know, and there are things that, you know, all of us could critique you on with some of these pieces for sure. But I think, and we don't mind doing that in a positive way, and that you feel like you can handle that's amazing too, because that's important. You need to be able to do that also and move from it, grow from it. But in the same aspect too, it's not about extinguishing either. Art is extremely subjective, and there's a lot of people that are going to love your work, and there's going to be a lot of people that might not love your work. You know, that's the joy of that freedom of appreciation and creative expression. So just don't get discouraged. Don't let that fire burn out. Like what you sound like you're hungry for it. You're going to have ups and downs. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. Yeah. You're going to have things where you doubt yourself and push yourself away from it. You may feel like it's a job sometimes. You may lose your spark sometimes. But trust me, we've all been through it, and we still go through it. And that's a conversation you're going to have for yourself as life moves you forward, to say, is this worth it to me, and keep that fire burning. We're still going, and we've been through a lot of things as artists. I think we can all agree on that, and we still love it. There's
not me. I give up.
Okay, Paul's gone. Yeah.
Well done, Paul. Well done.
But I want to say something.
I would like to make a little. You know, when I was invited to do this, you know, first of all, I am not, like the other guys are more illustrator. I'm really not the character guy. I mean, I can do that kind of stuff, but I tend to not do that. I tend to do scenes and things like that. So when I was invited by Mark to review what he said he thought was more of an anime-ish style, I obviously see the anime style, but you know what I'm seeing, what I'm getting from this, and what I like about it, is you have a natural sense of lighting.
Yeah.
I can see it in several of the pieces. And that is something that, I mean, I've worked with lots of artists that just don't have a clue. To have that in your palette, lighting to me is everything. If you lit a dead rat in a gutter and you did a painting of that, but you lit it just right, people would go, wow, wow. They may not like the subject matter, but it would still, they could not deny, wow, look at that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you could do any subject if the lighting just rakes them in like that. Now, of course, when you're dealing with, cell animation or digital animation, they don't tend to do a lot of lighting in those things, and that's not really necessarily called for. They do a limited amount of it. But what you're doing in your personal work, stick with the lighting. You've got a natural gift for that. Keep pursuing that. Is, in my opinion, that's a strong point for you.
I agree.
Wow. I see my aunt popped in, Aunt Janie up there. Hey, Janie, baby. Hopefully you can hear me. I want to ask Tony a question. First of all, I want to compliment Graven, Monica, Paul. I'm going to get to Tony in a second. You guys were exactly why I brought you in on this show, because you're not just thumbing up, thumbing down, giving an A, giving a C- to artwork. You're giving life advice. You're actually talking to my cousin and actually projecting her forward into the future, because that's blind for these young kids. They have no idea what to expect out there. They may be dabbling in art right now, but they probably have no idea where to take this. You guys are 2020 hindsight. Been there, done that. You're still doing it. And you can reflect back to these young people who are coming up behind you, basically doing what you guys have been doing for a very long time and telling them what to expect. But in getting with Tony, okay, I want to ask Tony because all of my friends' artwork is fantabulous. You all have your styles, you all have your way you light, you paint, you use color, and I am a fan of all of you equally. But when I see something absolutely different, I have to ask questions. I have to ask Tony because Graven, you've already touched on the point of uh, well, all of you have a storyline behind what you're creating. How did this come about? The use of lighting is what I'm hearing right now. And in fact, Paul is not even focusing 100% on the anime aspect of what May likes to draw. He's focusing on the technique, everything that you threw into your art, May, to literally bring it alive, because that is the intent when you're doing art. You need to make it believable. You have made it believable. And someone who I think is utterly incredible is my girl Tony here, who does incredible work like this. And Tony, is there anything that May needs to think about before she puts pen to paper or brush to palette, or uh, to come up with something of this level, of this quality, these things that you do?
Is there anything she needs to think about? Given where she is right now, I'm sure I was doing the same thing. You know, an idea popped in my head, I put it down. And I'm not doing too much differently right now. It's just a bit more refined. But I think painting from her heart, from her soul, letting the muse come, because a lot of what we do, well, I can't speak for everybody else, but I would say that for myself, some of what I do is channeled. You know, I don't always know where it comes from, because the universe is a big mystery to all of us, and there's a lot that goes on beyond the veil, and I'm very receptive to that. So sometimes I get an inkling for something, and I don't always understand why, but I have to follow. I have to follow that inkling, and move forward with it and bring it to life. Um, Many years ago, when I was just getting started, I was working with a professional artist. I was his assistant in his studio, and he said something to me that I didn't quite agree with, even though I respected his opinion, because he was a an illustrator, very successful illustrator, and if you saw some of his work right now, you would recognize it. But he asked me, "Well, when you're creating, when you're painting, who are you painting for?" And my gut reaction was me, because I feel like I need to be happy with what I do before I can put it out into the world, or whatever its destination is going to be. And he was all over me. He said, "Wrong, wrong. You're not painting for yourself. You're doing it for other people. You're doing it for the paycheck. You're doing it for the client. You're doing it for this." And to this day, I was in my early 20s then. I'm in my 60s now. To this day, I still do not agree with him. I feel like you have to be happy with what you do. It has to resonate in your heart. And you can be a hired hand for any company, for anybody, and that it serves its purpose sometimes for a paycheck. But still, you have to feel it in you, because that's when you do your best work.
Very true.
Yeah.
When it comes from you, on your heart, your soul. So if you feel compelled to follow a certain path, you listen to that. Because you're going to get people from left and right saying, "Well, you should do this and you should do that." And you can take it in, maybe with a grain of salt, maybe with a pound of salt, but you still have to follow your path. Nobody else is in your shoes but you. Good, bad, or indifferent.
100%.
That is incredible. Real quick, some of you know, a lot of you do know, but I design houses for a living. And I'm working on a house design for a couple from New Jersey. And I usually give my clients options of what they want the front of that house to look like. Sometimes the interiors too, whatever, but mainly what the front's going to look like. And I ran into a very bad conscience of heart here, because I gave this client two front elevations, two front looks of the house, and they chose my least favorite. But listening to Tony, knowing that you are designing for the client, you also have to design for yourself. So I realize, even by what Tony just said, is I should have never shown him option 2. I should have, knowing that I personally didn't like it. Okay, hindsight 2020 again. I put that into the grouping of which one do you like the best, and they chose the one that I absolutely like the least. And now and this is, you could base this maybe a little bit on consignment work. When you're hired to do a job for someone, and based on what Tony says, if it's something that you personally dislike that you just did, don't show it to them, because it's the art that you have to be happy with in the end as well. And if I hadn't shown that client that second, now I'm stuck. If I hadn't shown that client that second elevation, a second look at that house, he would have picked the one that I liked, and I would have been happy continuing on with the project. So Tony's absolutely correct. It has to be what you like, what you want to do, what you're happy with.
Well, as my point of view here is, as y'all know, like I said before, I'm really not an illustrator. I made a proclamation several years ago at a convention, Monica Engraving right there, that I will not do any commissions. And somehow I keep getting roped into ones for real close friends and family and stuff. But other than that, I just don't do them. I don't like doing them. And believe me, if you don't do work for clients, it's going to be a lot rougher. I've had a really tough road to hoe, because I only do what I want to do, and I sell those paintings, and hopefully it keeps me alive. Well, it did, but I had some real rough times along the way, but I never gave up. I don't do fan art. The only time I did fan art was when I was doing caricatures out at Universal. I did every Game of Thrones character. I did 166 characters, but I've never really, I don't really sell them or anything. I like to do what I like to do. And I don't like doing commissions, and I don't do them at all anymore. And if you do try to choose the road that I've chose, be wary that it is a poor man's road. It's a tough road financially, especially if economic times crap out on you, like COVID and stuff like that. Because I had stuff in galleries. All the galleries are closed. I've had very little precious little business, and because I don't do commissions, but that's okay. I made it to retirement, so I'm okay. But just along the way, just be aware that if that's the road you choose, it's a tough one. And you got, but I was willing to stick it out, and I'm glad I did, because the flip side of that, I've always been my own boss, and I like that. The nicest boss I've ever had.
Got a guest with you, Mark.
Your background decided to run.
You knocked my clothes off there, Paul.
Can I add in a little something to what I said? And I agree with Paul, but I also want to include that, I do commissions. I don't do a lot of commercial work like I used to do. I started out with that. I was the hired hand to do whatever I needed to do and get my name out in the world. And at this point, I do take commissions because people are coming to me because they like what I do. Right. Because I have been following my heart and soul and everything. So Paul, if somebody comes to you and say, Paul, we just want a painting from you, a palm tree, whatever that happens to be, because it's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah. Lord God, I wish that would work out that way. They always want changes.
Well, maybe they do. And sometimes it's not a bad idea to bend a little bit if you're willing to. I mean, right. If somebody asked me to paint a tractor, I'd probably say no. because that's not my thing. I could do it. I have the capability of doing it, but it's like, nah, that's not who I am. That's not what I bring to the table. So as May is progressing, she's going to find her style. She might try different things, but she's going to find her style, and people will come to her for what she does, what she brings to the table. And if she can get a commission from that, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, do it when certainly when you're green and you're new and you're starting. Commissions are great, but there came a point for me that it was just like, well, basically, I guess it's as I got older, as I've got to be an older artist, it was like I don't really have time for other people's stupid ideas. I've got plenty of stupid ideas of my own.
Hey, real quick, we're going to go on to her last four, but I need to play this, well, I'm not paying the bills, but show this real quick. I need about 30 seconds of your time, so stand by.
No worries.
Hello, World Wide Web. I'm GW Pomager. I'd like to ask you to subscribe to HWWS Web TV.
Hi, I'm Sage Ia. We've got loads of content, something every day.
Hey, I'm Thomas Carter Rochester.
Hey, I'm David Thompson.
From Lights, Thunder Action.
Hey there, this is Dave Adams, the golden voice of the South from Unrelated at Birth.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Rose from Saturday Morning Cartoons and Classic Television SmackDown.
Hey guys, it's Josh Bauer of Back Talk with Bauer on HWWS Web TV.
Hey there, peeps. Willow Schuyler from Willow's Pillow Talk and Reels and Heels here.
I'm Ryan Permison of And I Quote on HWWS Web TV.
I would like to ask you to please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Remember to subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe to the HWWS Web TV on YouTube.
To get to 100,000, to 1 million.
And don't forget to smash the bell.
Smash that notification bell.
Ring that bell.
Log on.
Hit the notification bell.
Smash that bell.
Tune in.
And 10 million.
Hit the bell to get notified of new shows.
And videos.
And 100 million in the entire world.
Just do it.
On HWWS Web TV.
On HWWS Web TV.
On HWWS Web TV.
And see who we're hanging with now.
All right, and we're back. Had to get those spots in. And we are headed down to, I guess, where are you? I think our final four, maybe a little more, but you guys are doing great. How you feeling, May? How do you feel about all these comments from absolute complete strangers other than your old cousin here?
I feel really good and I feel inspired, and probably after this I'm gonna take what I learned and put it into like another art piece I make. I'm just really happy right now, honestly.
Do your homework first. Do your homework. Okay.
True. Yeah.
Okay. Do your homework. All right, and then you can go and draw. All right. Here we go. Where are we here? I think we're on to this one. That's interesting. Wow. Any comments on this one, May? You want to explain this one to us?
Okay. So you know the last one that had the blue and the red heart? Okay, so those two are connected.
Ooh, there's a story there. Is this original, May, or do these characters actually exist out there in the social media world?
No, these are my characters.
Wow. Better get this trademark right away. Graven, Monica, how you guys protect this kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, there's simple and then there's involved. The simple stuff, of course, with copyright is that if you create it, you promote it, you publish it, you print it, you sell it,
you can prove that
it's your original construct. When you've put that out there, you're showing it. We know that this is her work right now, so we know that that's a simple kind of copyright that she can go to bat. However,
right now it's been published.
Exactly. So technically, it's published, so it's now out there in the world to know that it's hers, and no one's taking credit for that other than her. In the event to do it more legal and affirmative to official, you can go and U.S. copyright .gov website and be able to go in there and actually submit things digitally. You can upload your files. You can pay a small fee depending on what it is and what type of works you're doing to actually copyright that information, as well as possibly trademarking like logos and brands and things like that associated with it. But there's those places that you can go, and that's something I would highly recommend on top of it if you can, depending on how serious you are with your characters. And that's what I'm looking at here. Painting is the same way, you know, stuff like what Paul does and Tony does and what Monica does. You know, you can get that stuff copywritten as well because it's works of art. You know what I mean? But when what I'm seeing from hearing you talk and the characters we're seeing here, I'm seeing that you're building IPs, intellectual properties. These are characters that you want to be able to promote to other people, show people, maybe make books out of, comics out of, movies out of, video games out of, toys out of. And in that case, I would highly recommend getting them copywritten, just so that you have that backup on paper with the U.S. Department of Copyright. Yeah.
My God,
it's neat when you get the copyright thing from the government, but remember, you're going to have to wait 6 to 8 months before you actually get the certificate.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So get started now on that, May. This is brilliant because if this is original from you, I'm liking it already. I wouldn't mind going to a teen movie and seeing these characters up on the screen, knowing that they're twins, and when they combine, they're like this. I had no idea until we got to this painting that these characters were some sort of supernatural beings that, you know, when combined, who knows? They might have supernatural kissing powers or something like that, you know. But that is freaking awesome. I'm impressed. Wait a minute, didn't you say you didn't like backgrounds?
No, I don't do them without a reference. Okay, so for exclamation for the background, so I like going on Pinterest a lot for my ideas and my poses sometimes. So I went on there and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a nice background, and I looked up cottagecore, and then I looked through some pictures, and I took one that I liked, and I kind of I took the I looked at the drawing and I made lines on it where, for example, the vanishing point was, where like their hills were, and then I set it aside on like another tab that I could look at, and then I started doing the basic shapes and slowly started building it up. And once I got the basic shapes and the colors I liked, I put a filter on it like I did for the actual character in it.
My cousin, y'all. My cousin.
Well, once again, the lighting, you know, you've got good control on the lighting. I like the way the front post is lit and the other ones are not. And the lighting on the dress is nice and soft and subtle. And once again, and the lighting in the background where you've gone from dark to light and again, to give you some depth. Like I said, the lighting is what I'm most impressed from a person of your age. Yeah, that's really good. So, and that's something that's obviously natural to you. You see it, you feel it, and that it's hard to teach people certain things. It's just like, you know, certain musicians, you know, people can take guitar classes all day and they can play the guitar really well, but they just don't have a feel for it. But I can see that you have a feel for the lighting, and that's impressive at your age or at any age, really.
Thank you.
Wow. This is, and if I was a horror fan, I would think that was not a mask.
Well, for context, it's kind of like, it's not really glued on, but like it's attached to her face.
Ooh.
Like it's a part of her skin, kind of.
Ooh.
I kind of got inspired by it. I don't know if you've played this game at all, May, but are you familiar with the game Hollow Knight?
Oh, I've heard of that game. It's really cute.
The mask kind of
reminds me of the main character, and they're in that. It's cool. I like that. So it's kind of a good set there. I was gonna maybe give a little critique on some of the work, if that's okay. In regards to what people sometimes don't understand when you're doing anime, is an extremely simplistic looking art form. However, it's not simplistic. It's harder to do simple design work with anime stylings than it is sometimes doing a detailed piece, because a lot of people come from an aspect of learning, gesture drawing, anatomy, things like that. So if you're doing some type of anime work, it's about understanding those foundations and then bringing it back and simplifying it into that style, so to speak. So if you're using references like what you were saying, that's something I also want to touch on. Referencing is okay. And as you move forward, you're going to have certain comments and certain types of positions people will take, other artists as well, that will maybe frown upon referencing. They'll say, do it from your head, create from your head. And that's awesome too, because I like to do that as well. But I think getting a good frame of reference in all the work you do, be it with backgrounds, be it with characters, lighting, I think is extremely important. There's nothing wrong with it. So don't let that be a discouraging to you if someone says that to you. Everyone creates as they create, But I would say your anatomy would be something that I would is an area of opportunity to kind of look and grow from. Try to work into some kind of stylings. I would say start kind of working with anatomy books, kind of maybe seeing some poses, armatures, things like that. They do have these small little scale models you can get, masculine and female, to be able to pose as you wish to kind of see the structure. You can go online. There's a lot of websites. And of course, I'm sure after this, you'll have our contact information. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to us after the show to try to help give you some guidance as well. But I would say once you start working on your anatomy a little more, you'll start being able to see how those characters you're creating is going to flow better in that anime style and that feel. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I feel like some of those pieces are strong, but I also see there's some foreshortening issues you may have, perspective issues you may have with some of the body and some of the arms and the legs and how
perspective is not my thing. That's something I really struggle with.
Yeah, and one of the things you may want to always, when I was at the booth and wherever, draw lots of hands, hands. They're really tough to draw. They're very challenging, and they can do many more things than a face can do. Yeah. So very challenging. And if you can master drawing good hands, the rest of the anatomy is almost a cakewalk compared to that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's great advice. I'm assuming anime hands are not as profound as they are in other.
I would say it's stylistic, but still the positioning has to be, sure, there's a certain amount of cartoon hands and all that, but but even within that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to make a recommendation, if I may.
Absolutely.
A veteran animator, if she's not familiar with, she might be able to learn a few things. Hayao Miyazaki.
Absolutely.
Are you familiar with that, May?
I feel like I am. Like, what are some of the things that she did?
No, it's a guy.
Oh, it's a guy.
How do you spell his name?
I'm trying to think because I've heard the name.
It's Hayao. Hayao. Mia. I have to sound it out. I know how to write it down. I should write it down and I can spell it. Miya.
Oh, is that
Howl's Moving Castle, all those.
Yeah.
Studio Ghibli?
Yes.
I love those movies. I love those movies.
Toro.
I love those movies.
There's such a library that he has from Studio Ghibli, and the artistry is outstanding. There's a lot you can learn. Certainly when I'm thinking about the backgrounds, because his backgrounds are works of art. It may be animation, but it's serious works of art. You'll learn a lot about color and lighting. Certainly with character design. I think you can just look at it and get lost in it, and some of it will filter in to you.
Yeah, he really knows how to frame things. He really he's a master of composition.
I agree.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to position my Van Gogh in the picture here. So just let you go. I'm into art too. Okay, so I just showing you my Van Gogh. Oops. You guys see my Van Gogh? That's my Van Gogh right there. Okay. All right, just so we know we're all right. Anyway, so yes, remember that name, May. If you forget it, and we can get it to you. I can text it to you, write it to you, whatever. But that's some great insight from Tony once again to go ahead and do. Oh, hold on. Thank you, Tony, for putting that in the private one. That's perfect. Stand by, guys, for a sec here while I do this. Copy and pasting here. Copy, paste. Add banner. And there it is. Don't ask me to pronounce the second word.
Miyazaki.
That's what I said. Yeah. Okay.
I think I was going to put, if it's okay, I was actually, I was going to tell you, I was going to put Monica on the spot a little bit here.
Oh, God, no.
Because I see a lot of Monica in you, young lady. I see a lot of the young Monica.
That's the hair.
And the hair, right? And I think that I think Monica could give you a lot of guidance and just being. She started drawing what? What did you start drawing when you were younger?
Oh, all I drew was unicorns, dragons, and for some reason Garfield and Odie were my top thing to draw all the time. So
then you went downhill with the cats.
No,
all downhill with the cats. Couldn't draw a dog. Couldn't draw a single dog. Had to do cats.
You're outnumbered, Mark. We all like cats.
Yeah. Look, anything tastes.
I have cats. Everybody's got cats but you.
Look, hey, I'm from B-More. Anything tastes good with hot sauce. So fine. Bring them on. Bring them on. All right. So you got this person's name right here. We're going on to the last 3 or 4 of May's beautiful artwork. Once again, everyone, thank you for watching NBL Entertainment Group's version of the artist show. I've done this twice before to promote my artists. People are so proud of you, May. Oh, that's your bestie. She's so proud of you.
That's my bestie.
Yeah, and your mom says she loved those movies, although she can't spell it right. Anyway, we forgive her for that one. Isn't it Howlings or Howlers?
No, if you spelled it right, it's Howl's Moving Castle.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that. Never mind. Anyway, so we'll go on. I really do love this one. This is another one of my favorites. I'm really, like I said, guys, we progressed down to better artwork she wasn't going to send us, thanks to her mom. Not thanks to her mom for not sending her, but thanks to her mom for changing her mind and sending them. Wow, this is really pale. There's a lot of bright colors in this one. But I love the eyes. If anybody doesn't have any say about this one, I'll go to next. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. May, where do you get your fashion sense? I mean, you were really dressed really well when I saw you 2 weeks ago up north.
Pinterest. Pinterest.
Okay. All right. Look, let me tell you something about Pinterest. Okay. They are a version of the auto warranty expiration phone calls that people get. Okay. You can't grab anything off of Pinterest without paying or trying to, they try to drag you into doing something for them. Pinterest is all over the place. This is interesting.
I think this is another character from that world.
That's what I was thinking too, looking at the eyes.
Yeah.
May?
Oh, no. I just wanted to make 2 different colored eyes.
No.
There's continuity. We're recognizing your style by those designs. So there is continuity with this.
Yeah, red and blue, like cyan, are my 2 most favorite colors to put in everything.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay. I know what to get you for Christmas. All right, and I'm going to show the last one, and you guys can go ahead and give your comments. But as you do that, I'm going to just rifle quickly through each and every one that we have shown for tonight. So don't stop your talking or your commenting. I'm just showing a little visual art here. And here is her last piece.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
I just think she's been drinking too much.
Well, there's a story in that one for sure.
Very much so.
Sure. I hate cats. I hate cats. that damn cat. That
Edgar Allan Poe's niece.
Yeah. Cat knocked my glass off the counter. I hate cats. I think I'll have cat for dinner tonight. All right, ladies and gentlemen and family, everyone is watching tonight. This is my cousin May. And if you guys have any final words that you'd like to project their way, go for it as I run my little fingers through the artwork.
Final words, eh? How about protuberance? Blubber. Oh, okay. I thought we were just rapidly.
Okay, look, I don't have time to get to a dictionary. All right, you need to explain yourself, buddy.
No, okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
No, man, you're really doing well especially for your age. I would say, if you're considering pursuing this further and you really, really want to go for it, hours. It's the more hours you put in, the better you get. There's no such thing as bad hours put in on artwork, even if it's the worst drawing you ever did. It'll inspire you. But bad art will inspire you to do better. So, but it's the hours. It's all about the time you put in. The more time you put in, the better off you are. And that doesn't mean you have to have pencil and paper either. Just observing, understanding how something is lit and really seeing things. That's just as much of a study as anything else. But it's almost like you got to give it, like almost 24/7, 365, really, in a lot of ways. So if you're ready to do that, and you're ready to put in the actual physical hours to do it, then you're ready to rock because you've got the other skills. Your foundation is solid.
Yeah.
For someone your age, just keep working on it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with Paul 100% on that. I also would say that just based on looking at your work, talking to you, and all the opinions that are hopefully coming across well for you in a positive and knowledgeable way, let's just look at some reality here, if I could. You're 15, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, correct. Yes.
You're already well above the area of most 15-year-olds and paying attention to kind of what they want to do. All right. It's an important time of your life right now because you've got a lot of things going on. You're probably trying to find who you are a little bit, your own path a little bit. You're trying to justify a little bit for why you're doing what you're doing in some regards, but you're also trying to keep true to your heart. It's all important things. Because you're young and because you've amassed this type of styling and understanding, and it shows in your artwork, now is the time to grind. Now is the time to get deep into this stuff and learn it. And like what Paul says, put in the work. Put in the work now, because time is the only thing that we don't have enough of.
Yeah.
It may feel like we do, but we do not. So it means how much. And when I say put in the work, it means you have to ask yourself. There's going to come a time where you're going to have to ask yourself, what are the things outside of what you love is worth sacrificing your ability to be better at what you're doing? So sometimes it might be those hard questions that you have to ask yourself. Do I go out with friends tonight, or do I do my work? Do I do my art? Do I go to a show? Do I go hang out? Do I watch that TV show? Those times are great, and we all need that. But if you want to get even better than you already are in a lot of these areas that you're moving, you're going to have to take the time to work on it every time of the day. If you have time to think about doing it, you should be doing it. And I'm saying that speaking just from my own personal experience as a 42-year-old man with 2 children, and both are creatives as well. And being in a creative life and what I had to do as a young man growing up and wanting to be creative and where I'm at now. If I could go back and tell my younger self to put in the work, I would have done that. And I would have yelled it. So bravo to you for being the age that you are and as hungry as you are. You have a great opportunity here. Don't let anybody push you away from it. Learn from it. Good, bad, and different. Learn from it.
As somebody who wasted a lot of their young adult life on not doing what I should have been doing, I commend you for how hungry you are to get to where you want to be, because I didn't have that hunger when I was young until I got older.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just treated it like a hobby. So now it's like I want to do it, and I'm like, I should have did that when I was much younger and not waste my time.
So, yeah.
And that's just my little tidbit.
And I will say this. I spent my whole life as an oil painter. And a number of years ago, I was going to lose my house. So I ended up having to go work at Universal Studios as a caricature artist. Now, this was so outside my wheelhouse. So not something I do. I still don't consider myself a very good caricature artist at all. But I tell you what, I can whip an airbrush like nobody's business now. So, one of the things in my oil paintings are 4 times faster. I can paint a whole painting now in like 4 to 6 hours. And it's all due to working at the caricature booth, because it's
Yeah, you got to be like what,
And
30
you got to
minutes,
be on
25
demand,
minutes?
and and it's one after the other. And man, you learn so much. If you ever have the opportunity or feel the inclination to do so, it's better than any school because it's a school of pressure. It's hard. We had a lot of people drop out because they couldn't handle it, but still, it's something to consider since you're so
That
young.
would be a good first job,
Awesome.
like, you know.
Tony?
That was excellent. And Paul, I will always applaud you for being a man who could paint with two hands. I mean, you're a drummer, so you already have that rhythm thing going. But my hat is off to you, man. For
Thank you.
you do.
I take my hat off, but I'm balding.
Way ahead of you, buddy.
Keep that Rembrandt hat. Well, I echo what everyone has said. I was going to say actually what Graven and Monica said, because we all have that hindsight thing. You know, if we could rewind or be like Benjamin Button, start out with the wisdom and go backwards. But there's so much value in the time you have now, right now, and you know, of course, it's your life to do what it is you want to do, but listen to these words of wisdom while you do, because really tomorrow isn't promised to anyone. You have today. Make the most of today. Be the best you can be today, and the rest will follow. You have a great deal of talent. You have someone who loves you and is supporting you in this major way. We didn't necessarily have that.
No,
and
we did not.
You know, we might have had the skills because I was like you. I was drawing on the wall, and I got spanked for it. You know, I would draw on anything that was available. Give me crayons and coloring books, and I was off to the races. And at that time, my family considered it a hobby. And as I got older, of course, I got get a real job, get some security. And that was not my way. I couldn't do it. I was too hard-headed. I had to follow my heart. Once again, follow my heart. Right. And it brought me to working, you know, as I am now as an artist. And as Paul had his stint at Universal, and it was good. It was a good education for him. It was a great experience, and it's made him better in so many other areas. And for me, I spent 11 years doing a job. I had a paintbrush in my hand, working as a scenic painter at Disney and Universal. And the paycheck was great, but it kind of stole my soul. And after that chapter was over, I am more dedicated now than I've ever been. You know, and Mark could even tell you, and when he first messaged me about it, I'm like, I got deadlines, I got things to do.
Oh,
you know,
baby.
And I'm sitting here with 3 canvases around me that are saying, hey, me, you know, paint me. You know, we got a deadline. But this was also important, you know, because I remembered my time. I remembered myself where you are now. And those few voices that I was fortunate enough to hear along the way stuck with me. You know, my pediatrician saw something in me and said to my mom, encourage her, give her something. You know, I got a lollipop for my drawings going to the doctor. That was my incentive. Now, you know, I have much better things as incentive, but I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You know, this is what I was put on the planet to do. So I hope you find your voice with your art, and you just blossom with it, and be happy doing it.
And May, look at the circle of friends you're going to gain along the way, because I gained these guys along my way. And these are the real friends. You may find people that are going to be jealous of you, people who don't think your art's any good, but you ignore that. Okay, you're headed for greater things than just a small criticism of people you may not ever see again. Just stay true to your passion. When I saw the first piece of artwork, you know, remember we were at the repass and you showed me your art. and I didn't give you an answer of how I felt about your art because I knew I wanted to immediately create this show, because that was the worth of what I saw in you and what you showed me. I wanted to bring a set of professionals to view your artwork and give their experience. I'm an artist in a different way. I design buildings, and there is some art related to that. But in terms of the imagination and the creativity and just the talent, just the sheer raw talent that these folks have, just looking at their stuff, what I've been showing up on the screen, this is what you're headed for. Okay, this is the proof in the pudding. So I knew for a fact, one thing that really struck in my mind is I didn't want you to neglect your schoolwork. I didn't want you to neglect an education, especially from the great advice that you're giving and the accolades that you're getting from these people that you're listening to right now. Don't want it to go straight to your head, thinking that school no longer matters, that you don't need to pass grades, that you don't need to graduate. No, 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 no.
Still important.
That's very important and should actually be number one on your list. But don't neglect your passion as well. Just allocate your time. Know when you should spend time to do this, and when you know you need to spend time doing the other thing. You know, so they're very important. Your education is very, very important. But no, come on.
And when it comes to critique, when people tell you your work sucks, don't believe them.
Right.
Now, when they tell you your work's great, don't believe them.
You're right. You have to like
don't
yourself.
listen to the critics, because everybody's a critic out there. People will blow smoke up your hoo-ha there. Just because. I mean, I just don't.
Oh, she's 15, Paul. She's 15.
Well, that's why I said hoo-ha. But the thing is that, basically, don't follow what other people say. You're going to be your own best critic. You're going to be hardest on yourself, and just be true to yourself and trust in your own judgment that like there was there's a fellow artist friend of ours that had a painting up at Dragon Con, and one of the art directors came up and said, "Oh boy, he'll never sell that piece."
Oh,
and
man.
I liked the piece. And then shortly, within an hour or two, that piece got sold.
Yeah.
So there's just, everybody's got an opinion. And it's great to get lauded and all that. I mean, there's nothing like being an artist where people come up and go, "Oh my gosh, you're just so fat. You're amazing. You're so talented." I mean, you really don't get that when you're flipping burgers,
Right.
So, I mean, but don't let it go to your head. Just keep it real. That's the main thing. Keep it 100, and that's all. And that'll serve you better.
Yeah.
From what I could tell after just meeting this young lady, my own cousin here, she harbors humility.
I see.
Okay. I don't see any conceitedness whatsoever, or flipping her hair around and go, "Yes, I did that," or things of that nature. This if I didn't see this, I don't think I'd have this show. I'd be doing this show. So I did see something in her that I think is very admirable as a young adult. I mean, she's not an adult yet, but still, she's 15 years old. She acts like an adult. I'm
right around there.
Yeah, so I'm appreciative of that, and I'm sure everything that we're telling her, she's not going to forget. Everything that we're telling her, my cousin. I'm sorry, I wish you were my niece. My cousin is not going to forget. So,
And you can go back and watch this and remember it later.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
You can show this to your friends. You can pass it on. But May, let me ask you. I want to get some final thoughts from you on in the best words that you could find. Exactly what did you think of the people that were giving you thoughts about your own work?
I really appreciate every single word that was said to me, and it makes me really happy that I got criticism for some things, and then some things I were praised on because for most things I was given a point where, hey, you should focus on this, and I will take that back and actually make another thing, take that back with me and try to focus on more things that I should improve with my art. For example, maybe I should do more backgrounds, practice with more backgrounds, all of that, and hands hands are not my thing at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all of the advice I got, I really appreciate every single one of you for chiming in and giving your criticism on my art.
Well, thanks for not falling asleep.
It's impossible with you here, Paul.
Oh, well, I do my best.
That's why I love you, brother. That's why I love you. All right, so I guess we can go ahead and end the show. We did a good 90 minutes for this, and I thought that's very fine, very appropriate, especially with the things that we've seen. So May, I just want you to know that, I'm here for you. You have new friends. If you need their email addresses or, leave something on their websites or whatever, if you have a question, especially with the advice that they gave you, especially on backgrounds, you can definitely, chime in with Paul and say, Paul, did I do this right? Did I do this wrong? Your opinions, because, all my work gets critiqued every day because people are paying for me to do something very good for them. So I'm nervous myself when I come up with an original design on a house and I sit across a conference table just looking at their eyes and hoping I don't see any rolled eyes or any, bad, who or hums or ha's coming out of them. I know it's disappointing. That means I failed, but in all honesty, it only means just go back to the drawing board. It doesn't mean that you've been defeated and that you should quit because you just made somebody very angry or not very happy with what you know. It just means go back to the drawing board. Just do it again. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and just keep on trucking, So, wow.
I understand that there's some days that your hand just don't work.
What you have in here does not want to come out on this paper.
Hey, and don't be like me, May. Don't take food to your desk. Do not take food to your desk. You'll start getting into a habit, and next thing you know, you'll never be able to get up out of that chair. Okay, just saying.
I do that.
Guilty.
You know what?
I am definitely. I do. I mean, it's just me, So
yeah, but Tony,
I'm eating in my studio.
But Tony, I don't think you really have an ounce of fat on you anyway. So you're good.
Yeah,
right now. That's why she didn't put the camera on.
I was on the COVID diet.
No. Paul just said that's why you didn't turn the camera on. Okay, I got two theories on why Tony doesn't have her camera on. One, she doesn't have on any makeup, which I've seen her plain face, and she's absolutely gorgeous.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or two, she has copyrighted material on the easel right now that was promised to the client, and the client should always see it first. Am I right, Tony? You suck.
I put the buzzer on both of those.
You suck.
I have been burning the candle at both ends, the midnight oil and all of that, and I feel it. I look it, and I was not trying to be cute or anything. I'm very, very raw right now. So I'm just in work mode, and I'm like, you got me here. You got my voice. You got my energy. You got my skill.
And I love you for that. I love you because I didn't think you could make it or would make it because I know how busy you did say you were and you weren't sure you would make it, and you are here. I love you, darling. You know that.
Love you too. With that artist, sometimes it's feast or famine. And right now it's I'm getting more work than I've had in a while, and I don't know how long that's going to last. So I got to hit it,
Everywhere. I got 15 houses on my desk and everybody wants it tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. So I get it. I totally get it. And May, get used to that. When people want their work, they hire you, they commission you out or whatever, want you to do something. Remember, there is a deadline.
Well, I'm on Social Security, suckers.
You're a nut. Ladies and gentlemen, these are my friends. Of course, only one of them is the one I like the least, and it's the cat lady over there on the right. So you
Want me to
switch
bring
up
my cat back over here?
no, but if you switch up the dogs, then I will love you forever. Okay, but right now it's only every 6 months, basically. So, all right. So I hope everybody enjoyed the artist show this evening. I wanted to bring the spotlight on to my cousin. The first time I've ever done anything like this for a relative, but I was just gobsmacked when I saw her work and the lovely, fantastic May. Tony, are you clapping? Are you clapping, Tony? Tony, you there?
We're not worthy.
Can you not hear this?
I can hear it.
Yeah, wait, May, we would give you a standing ovation, but we're old. Okay, so
yeah, I'm wearing gym shorts, so there's that.
Oh no, don't stand up, Paul. Don't stand up. I think you did that to me before. That's why I'm wearing glasses now. Oh my God. Oh. All right. So if you guys will hang around as the close, unless Tony, you got to go, that's fine. But if the rest of you guys would just hang around real quick, I'm going to go for the closing video, and then I'm going to end the broadcast. So everyone that is watching tonight, thank you so much for supporting my cousin. Thank you so much for allowing me to introduce you to some of my friends. I appreciate it. Now you know that it really does take a village to raise a child. Okay, here is my village. I present my village. So thank you guys so much. Love you to death. If you're up at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, Saturday morning cartoons is going on. Next week is going to be classic television SmackDown. And anything else on the HWWS network that you guys are interested in, you should take a leak up, not a leak, take a peek.
Was that a
And Steve. What's his motivation, everyone?
What's in that cup?
It has been a 90-minute show.
Oh my God. Anyway. Come on, I'm trying to end this thing. All right. So, oh my God, you guys are crazy. Thank you, cousins. Thank you, cousins up in Detroit, up in Michigan, everywhere. Thank you guys for coming out and watching this. And I actually do have to take a leak. So let me end this right now so we all can go do our business. Hold on. I'm trying to click things that stand by. I need to get this off. I've been laughing too much. I don't know what I'm doing. They all love you, May. So once again, MBL Entertainment presents May. Thank you guys so much.